No.
Hi guys, today I'm interviewing DJ Pettit, my roommate, and we're going to talk about the BCS and how it works and see if he understands what it is. So, do you know about the BCS and how it is?
Yep.
What do you think about the BCS system?
I think it's just really unfair to all these like smaller schools and stuff who also play bigger teams or not as big of teams but still have an undefeated record, and I mean it shows either which way, so why not put them in a playoff system to where you can let those smaller schools get a chance to show what they got.
Like, what would be a dream match for you? A big school versus a small school?
I mean, you could have stuff like, you can have like these random teams like Trent State go against Alabama, or you could have just, anything random.
Okay. So how would you set your playoff up?
Well, I would get probably about, you see, within your, I don't know what they call it.
Conference?
Yeah, each conference, within all those, there are actually 16 separate sets. You have your main 10 or 11 that are there, and some of them have a split off where there's an East and a West and a North and a South, whatever.
So,
and, you can just put the Independence League over in a different one, because I didn't count them because there's only 3 teams there, which is your Navy, Army, Notre Dame.
So would you like it to be the same way as the basketball playoffs in NCAA?
Yeah, definitely.
Alright. Would you rather have an 18 playoff or a 16 team playoff?
Wait, what?
Would you rather have an 18 or 16 team playoff?
Definitely 16. Actually, I'd probably have it kind of more or less like the actual NFL playoffs are, to where you have your certain advancing teams. Have your wild card round with it would be 24. It'd be 24 teams. You have your 16 that goes in the wild card, and another 8 that automatically make it, and then you have a 16.
So how do you feel about how the BCS ranks them? How they have the Harris poll, the coaches poll, and the computer
poll. It's clearly unfair.
You think that it's unfair for smaller schools because they leave them out?
Correct. They're definitely left out, because you see TCU, they don't have a per se strong schedule, quote, but they definitely had what it took to be a national champion. They beat Wisconsin this past year in the Orange Bowl, Fiesta Bowl, whatever.
Alright, so what do you think about Barack Obama trying to help us out to get rid of the BCS, and a couple congressmen who are also trying to help us out?
I think it's great. Let them do it.
If he could, what would you think about Barack Obama?
I don't think too highly of him, but for this setup or whatever, I think it's fine.
So, that's about it. Alright, thank you for your time. And
no problem.
This is DJ Pettit, a really good sports addict, and apparently he likes the Rockets. Alright. So, actually, what's your favorite college team?
Favorite college team? Probably A&M.
Alright, so...
That's the... Yeah.
Alright, alright. Hi guys, this is our dorm guy. How you doing?
I'm good.
You good?
I'm doing great.
So Mark, do you know about the BCS system for football?
No, I didn't know. Please tell me more.
Alright, the BCS system is basically a complex combination of numbers that they use to rank the team in football, in college football. And usually they kind of they're biased against the smaller schools like U of H, Tulsa, and all these other schools. And they usually go for the bigger teams like UT, USC, Florida, and all these other bigger schools that they're known for football. But like last year, Auburn and Oregon State and TCU were the three undefeated teams in college football. Only two teams are able to go for the national title. What do you think? What do you think they should have done instead of just letting, just choosing the random team?
So they choose teams to go off the playoffs, not based on performance, but by this convoluted system of numbers and stats.
Numbers and stats.
I think that's silly. I think the team performs really well in their division, and then, especially like the D2s, if the top D2s team, places like Baylor has a D2 team, Rice is probably D2. If they perform really well, and then the top of theirs competes against some D1 schools, I think some sort of, pool, I think the winners of that should go on to play. I don't think this should be any sort of numbers game.
Do you think there should have been a playoffs instead of the BCS system?
Yeah, big time.
Some people say that, they should put something like a BCS system, but actually have a playoff.
Well, what you're forgetting, there's a lot of economy tied into it. A lot of schools, especially the D1 schools, make a considerable amount of money off of their teams through merchandising, through the fans coming in from all over the place to visit their campus and to support their old team. You look at A&M and UT merchandise everywhere, and that makes up a good chunk of their money. And so I guess this interview is not about solving the problem, but you're always going to have that problem there until the big teams like that give up their economic incentives to keep it selective and through the use of a system that's almost untraceable.
And also the BCS, they usually distribute the money unfairly. They usually give it to the bigger schools instead of the smaller schools.
Right.
But with the playoffs, they can evenly distribute the money through every single school that makes it to the playoffs, or even every other.
I think that sounds a lot more fair.
It's basically a monopoly.
Yep.
So in the playoff, would you rather have an 8-team, 16-team, or how would you like to have it? NCAA basketball or football with the wild card?
Brackets or brackets. I mean, whatever's going to be the most fair. And they can vote on that. The NCAA football board.
So, would you rather have seen Auburn versus TCU other than Oregon State and Auburn?
Absolutely. I think you should pit your top D2 teams against your lower D1 teams and then shuffle it all up from there.
So do you think Cam Newton would have had a chance to go against the top TCU?
Yeah, sure, why not? And they would love it. They would love a chance to play against a better school. In fact, St. Lucie State University does this every year. They invite UT or U of H down to play them, and they know they're going to get whipped. But it's a great experience for them, for the kids who really wanted to play. You get a good, real feel for college football. And again, merchandising. It brings in a lot of money to SHSU because it's in the middle of, St. Lucie State University is in the middle of Huntsville. And there's not a whole lot out there for economic stimulus. And so having all people come in. It would just be good. It would distribute money, and these schools need money. Not these big schools.
Because the small schools also need money. What do you think about President Obama and people from Congress trying to help us out to get rid of it?
That's incredibly silly. I don't think that's any of their business whatsoever.
Well, who do you think should be in charge of trying to get rid of this BCS system?
The NCAA committees.
But their reason is that they have contracts with television stations that give them the money.
That's ridiculous. Definitely not the president. If any jurisdiction is going to fall under, it fall under Congresses through the Commerce Clause because it's money passing borders. Even then, though, again, Congress would have to make a subcommittee that talks directly, represents Congress to the NCAA. I don't know.
Well, that's about it. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, you're welcome. Do you know how to edit these videos?
Hi guys, I'm here with Thomas. How are you doing, Thomas?
I'm very well, how are you?
Thank you for letting me interview you. Do you know about the BCS system?
I do.
And you know how it works?
I do.
What do you think about it? How do you feel about it?
I think that it is whack.
That's a good way to say it.
I disagree with the fact that It's not based on team's performance. It is, based on school ranking, and it's not necessarily school ranking as in football, but in money. Basically, it's if the school brings in enough money, then they're more likely to play, whether they are undefeated or, ranked 30th.
So, do you think if money wasn't involved, none of this stuff would happen? Or do you think it would be the same thing?
I'm not sure. I understand that, bigger schools need more advertisement to, make it. I do wish that younger teams were given the opportunity, or smaller schools were given the opportunity to, play in big bowl games. I am a major USC fan, but I wouldn't mind, if, say, Corpus Christi or, I don't know, Texas A&M, Rice, I know Rice, Baylor, yeah, if they, played extremely well and deserved to be in a bowl game, I believe that they should have as much of a right as any other school, especially if they played well, in their league.
So what do you think about the TCU situation that happened last year?
I think that that's ridiculous because they had an amazing year and their stats were just as well as any other team in the league, not just in their division. I think that they could have possibly gone on to win if they played, like they had been playing all year. I truly believe that.
So Auburn versus TCU, do you think Cam Newton would have had the same situations as he would have had with the other team?
I think Cam Newton is an amazing quarterback, and I believe that he could pick apart any team like he did the whole year. Would I like to have seen it? Yes. Do I, agree with the outcome of the championship? Yes, I think Auburn still would have won, but I would have loved to have seen Auburn and TCU definitely.
Okay. For the playoffs, how many teams would you want to have in it? 16, 8, or same thing as college basketball or NFL? With the wild card.
Right. If they did it like the NFL with the wild card and everything, I think that it would be a little more difficult because there are more than 32 teams. I definitely would. I think like the NCAA would be fine. Where they start off as 64 and then break it down like that. At least I think that's how it goes. I don't watch college basketball very often. But I think with 64 teams, that gives you a much greater, option. You can actually pick from, D2 teams that have done as well as some D1 teams, if not better. So I do believe that 64 would be great. If not, then 32 would be, just as good.
So even though if they had a playoff, would you be worried about, how much time it would take? Like, some people say they would rather take off some of the season, like regular season, and just put the rest of playoff. Some people say just leave the regular season and, have the playoffs after. But it will still go over to the second semester of the college students.
Well, I don't think that they have very many football players playing basketball, which would be in the second half, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't see any problem with it. I mean, it's win or go home. So I don't see anything wrong with going a couple weeks into the next semester. If they were to do that, I believe that the students would still have just as much time to prepare academically as well as athletically.
So even during the finals?
Yeah, I think even,
they could work around with it.
Right, I would say, and if anything, if it even lasted into the finals, I think it would be cut off way shorter than that. But if it did, I'm sure that, the teachers who are obviously all for having football at their school would be willing to give the football players a, option, saying, understand that you have this game, so if you can take it at this time, that'd be great, or if you can take it, 2 or 3 days after,
So, USC versus Texas. What did you think about that game?
the 05.
Rose Bowl,
Yeah,
national championship. Vince Young going in for that touchdown.
I think Reggie Bush let me down. I think he's a great running back, and I think that Vince Young was a good quarterback. I think he can still become a great quarterback, and I believe that Reggie Bush can become a great running back if he, will stop getting hurt. But that game, I cried many nights.
Even the Texas fans cried because of the win.
Yeah.
But like Matt Leinart, what do you think about that guy?
I think that he can grow into a great quarterback. I feel extremely sorry for him with the way he's been treated. But at least he's not like Vince Young and got his opportunity and has just failed. So that's what I'm saying.
Every time he go, Tennessee always goes against Houston. He always schools Houston,
Yeah.
but it's never against any other team.
Maybe it's, I don't know.
Cause he
I'm a
put-
Cowboys fan, so the Texans, they can go away.
Well, even though the Cowboys did have a sucky season, but everybody has a sucky season.
Yeah.
But anyways, thank you for your time, and
Thank you, sir.
have a nice night.